Hey, everybody. I'm Gold Derby News and Features Editor Ray Richmond, and I'm here today with Corey Loer, who has the distinction of being the only person who handicapped the Oscars, who got a perfect score,
Emmys.
27 out of 27, 100%, and which is incredibly impressive and means that we need to talk to him to find out his secret, if there is indeed a secret, Corey. We're going to get to the bottom of this. No, first off, let's find out a little bit about you. Where do you live?
I live in Dallas, Texas.
And what do you do for a living there?
I'm
I imagine you're not just predicting awards races for a living.
right.
It's hard to make much that way.
Right. I am a lab manager for a optometrist office.
Great. So now, how long have you been doing predicting and handicapping, voting on Gold Derby?
On Gold Derby, I think for the past couple, or actually the past few years, maybe 4 years or so. I've always done it with friends on paper when we watch award shows, but specifically on Gold Derby, probably the past 4 years.
Okay. Now, had you so have you been? Do you predict all the races? Emmy, Oscar,
Most,
Golden Globe, everything?
yes, Emmys, Oscars, Golden Globes, Grammys. Those are probably the four most that I do, but I predict SAGs as well.
Now, have you come close to this kind of perfection that you had
Not
at
at
last
all.
Sunday's Emmys before?
Not at all. I think the closest I've gotten, I think the Grammys one year, I may have gotten in about 80%, but usually I would say it's between 65 to 70% range.
Wow, only 65 to 70 usually. What still somewhat better than me, but wow. So when you sat down to handicap the Oscars here, well, first off, you're a big watcher of TV, or
Oh,
are you simply really good at predicting awards races?
huge TV watcher. I'm pretty sure I saw uh, probably almost everything that was nominated, at least 90% of it.
Wow. So a lot of your free time goes to watching, streaming
Absolutely.
and do you subscribe to everything like, Paramount Plus
Pretty
and
much between me and a friend of mine. One of us subscribes to one of them, and we live together too. So
that makes it easy.
yeah,
Um, so uh, so when you sat down to handicap these Oscars, um,
the Emmy.
excuse me, these Emmys, were you a huge Succession and Bear and Beef fan going in?
Absolutely, especially Succession. I think that Connor's wedding was one of the best hours of television that I've ever seen. So that was particularly easy when it came to the writing and directing drama categories. For me, huge fan of The Bear, both seasons. And I had actually just recently watched Beef after the wins at the Golden Globes. That's one thing for whatever reason, hadn't got around to watching yet. And so when it won significantly at the Golden Globes, I decided to watch it and then predict it as well.
Did you go back and forth on anything where you were like at the last minute you made some changes to make it right?
I did actually. So, Best Actress in a Comedy, I had originally chosen Christina Applegate. I
As
thought,
did I.
yeah.
That was one of my two mistakes. She and James Marsden were my screw ups.
Oh, really? So I thought, this, with her illness and everything, and kind of being the last year of Dead to Me, I thought that the Emmy voters might give it to her. But at the last minute, I mean, probably 4 hours or so before, I was like, you know what? A lot of other award shows have not. She's been nominated, but they hadn't awarded Christina. And so one of my last minute changes was to Quinta Brunson. The other and I think this, because I think 190 people got 25 out of 26. And most of what won was actually predicted to win. And as far as the odds and everything, the one thing that I had gone back and forth with was variety talk show. And originally I chose Colbert because John Oliver wasn't in that category anymore, and which he had, I believe, won since 2016, if not 2016, I think. And so I went with Trevor Noah, partly because of the same reason I originally thought Christina Applegate, this was going to be his last hurrah at the Emmys, since he was leaving as host. And also it was great because I believe he was the first Black man to win for variety talk show. So I, thought that he'd be a good prediction, and that one turned out right. I'm trying to think. I don't think I really. Oh, the other one I had originally picked Jesse Tyler Williams. Is it Jesse Tyler Williams or Tyler?
Howard James Williams.
Yes. I'm confusing him with Modern Family. But yeah, I had originally predicted him. And then as I started to think about the second season of The Bear, even though this Emmys was really voting for the first season.
See, it was voting for the first season, but it was really voting based on the second season.
Right. And so that's what, when I thought about that, that's what made me switch to, is it Ebon? Is that his name?
Evan Moss-Backrack.
Yes. Yes. So I switched to him as well. Everything else I'd pretty much locked in early. I don't think I changed much of anything else other than those three.
So what made you go, the one that we missed at Gold Derby that our voters missed was for variety talk. And I guess we couldn't see the Trevor Noah love coming. But you're right. I mean, it makes total sense now in hindsight that they were going to award him on his way out the door. Yes. And because the TV Academy seems to just have a lot of love built into the Daily Show to begin with, after all the years where they honored Jon Stewart. So you saw that when you saw Christina Applegate come out to give, to present the first award, did you go, oh God, yep, they're probably going to give it to her now because she's already on stage?
Yeah. As soon as she came out, I was like, gosh, why did you change it? You knew that they were going to award her as her, last season. And, I know she's said publicly she doesn't think she's going to be able to work much longer. And so when she came out, I was like, well, there goes the one. And then
you thought your perfect record was already down the drain.
Yeah. And then when Carol Burnett announced Quinta's name, I was like, oh, good. Glad I changed that 4 hours ago.
As long as you got a perfect score, who cares about the woman with MS? No. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. It was actually a really wonderful, loving, touching moment. Yes, when Christina was out there, and she was funny, but they showed a huge amount of love for her. And I love the fact that they were talking about, oh, thanks for shaming me by standing up. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So was there any that you were, while the show was going on, where you're thinking, well, oh God, I think I'm going to lose that one. This one isn't going to happen because of the way the show was going, or were you pretty confident all the way through?
No, I mean, I know the Emmys for the past few years, when they like something, they like it. I remember when Schitt's Creek, the last season, they awarded every single person in that cast, the directing, the writing, of course it won Best Comedy.
They like their sweeps at the end.
Yes. And so, I mean, other than one other one, I guess I was thinking, because I thought, well, maybe Succession will completely sweep too. And for Jay Cameron, I forget her full name.
Oh, J. Smith Cameron.
J. Smith Cameron. I almost chose her above Jennifer Coolidge as well, now that I'm remembering, because I thought, well, we might do, another complete suite. But then I just remembered all the other award shows that had been consistently going with Jennifer Coolidge. Gosh, was there any other? I don't think so. Honestly, when when Trevor Noah was announced, I thought to myself, I might get 100%, because with the remaining categories, I was like, this is going to go those way, the Succession way, the Bear way, Beef, if they hadn't announced that, all of those categories yet. So yeah, I would say, once Trevor Noah won, I was pretty confident it was going to be 100%.
What's your feeling just about the way that sweeps happen at the Emmys and the way the TV Academy votes? Are you, I mean, I guess it makes it easy. There were a lot of high scores, not only one your level, but a lot of high scores because of that, because everybody simply understands the way they vote. But so many shows go away empty-handed as a result of this. Do you have any feelings on how that all takes place?
I do think sometimes I would like them to share the love, but when you have a show like Succession and you have that level of talent as far as the actors go, the writing and directing, I mean, to me, there was nothing better. That there were plenty of great shows, like you said, and it's not great that they go away empty-handed, but when you have something at that level, I can't blame the voters. And the same with The Bear. The Bear was great. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not that's a comedy, and I think they mentioned in the press after, that has a lot to do with the fact that they're 30-minute show.
It's all the time frame.
Yeah. And so even though, I mean, of course there are funny moments, I don't, think it's
you can't necessarily recall any.
Right. Yeah.
No, I mean,
kind of like the Globes, making May December a comedy too, all because of
where did that come from?
Right. Because of that one little, chord that hits when she opens the fridge and says they're out of hot dogs or they don't have enough, so it's like one little tiny bit that I thought was humorous, but yeah, I mean, when there's great shows, I don't blame them for sticking with what's working.
Yeah. I wonder if maybe going forward, the TV Academy might want to look at sort of breaking up the categories a little bit, or revamping them, just to make them a little more true to the content of some of these shows. It's
Yes.
There's so many lines blurring these days. With shows like Barry and Succession, which obviously had a lot of funny moments. I know they've gone back and forth about the idea of a dramedy category, but I think they've ultimately they've been talking about that for 20-25 years. But what do you, now that you're the perfect score guy, Corey, are you looking at you should maybe start selling your expertise to people, to people betting in Vegas.
Yeah.
Not that I'm encouraging gambling.
Yeah.
But are you what are your favorites looking forward to the Oscars?
Poor Things. I would really love to see Emma Stone win her second Oscar. I think she was incredible in that. I'm really hoping next week that Charles Milton gets a nomination in supporting. I'm predicting him, even though I know a little bit lately it hasn't, he didn't get into SAG. I would love Zac Efron in Best Actor for Iron Claw. I don't think it's going to happen, and I'm not predicting it, but it would be my kind of no guts, no glory answer. And I think, honestly, Oppenheimer's going to probably come out as the most nominated. I don't doubt that.
It's looking like a steamroller already.
Yes, yeah.
You know, the one I think sure thing, not that I'm telling you sure things, you're the sure thing guy at this point, but it looks like it's going to be very hard to beat Chris Nolan for director in any competition he's in.
Yeah, I don't foresee him losing at all.
Well, I think we're going to end things there. Corey, you're just delightful, and it was really wonderful to be able to meet you. I think I screwed up at the beginning and said that it was 27 out of 27. It was really 26 out of 26.
Right.
And not that I'm trying to make you even better and
Yeah.
and more of a fortune teller in advance than you were, but 26 out of 26 is pretty good. You know, it doesn't happen very often. It may not ever happen again for you, but congratulations on being our best and only perfect score Emmy prognosticator. And good luck in everything. And I hope to talk again.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll see how the Oscars go next week.
Very good.
Nominations.
Absolutely. Well,
All right.
Take care.
Thanks. You too.